Welcome to the parts channel. I wanted to talk to you about the FLOWMETER, the problems that this part gives, that many of you who already have cars with many kilometers have had because you will have already suffered this problem of this part, okay, but sometimes you blames the problem on him or well, it is a flow meter problem and it is not a problem of the flow meter itself, because this depends on the machine. They usually give you two types of errors, one that tells you well that it measures the amount of air wrong and there it does not. It is usually a fault, sometimes yes, but normally it would be necessary to check before changing the flow meter that the hoses that come out towards the motor are not cracked, that they are not broken, that the clamps are not loose and they have an air leak, because then these values will be wrong and the computer will fail the flow meter and it is not a flow meter failure. So it would be necessary to look at that before changing the flow meter, seeing it is another that you can already look to see if it is the problem of the part. Also, other errors that diagnostic machines usually give is that it tells you that there is no communication with this part. So if there is no communication, then there may be a problem that it has bad wiring, a cable that may be defective, it may sometimes the connector itself is dirty, it would be enough to clean it, or the flow meter itself, the part, because this is the case, the meter is inside. This case protects it. Here it cannot be released because it is a unique piece. This is from BMW and here they have it as a unique piece, it cannot be removed, the complete piece is sold. A very simple and effective way to check if the flow meter fails, and also without a machine, because you say, I think it is a failure of the flow meter, because I start the engine at idle and it trembles, that is, that mixture of fuel and air does not do well. When it accelerates it enters emergency mode or it does not go from 2,500 to 3,000 laps, so if they can be symptom of failure, although it can also be failure in other parts, but hey, when it is a symptom of flow meters it can also give these symptoms, so without a machine you can do a test, a fairly simple check. You release the connector here, you release it and walk a few meters with the loose connector. If you see that the behavior of the car improves a little, then you already know that the problem, indeed, comes from this part and you would have to see whether to change it or clean it. That depends on each person. Well, cleaning it can be cleaned but it may be that it fails, but in short, the cars, when they already have enough kilometers on top, it is rare that the flow meters fail before 200,000 kilometers. But it may happen that some fail, but normally it is from then on when they usually fail the most. And when they get dirty they also fail. You have to be careful to keep it clean, you have to be careful to keep it clean. You have to have the air filter in good condition since the air comes here through the filter, and if the filter it is dirty or has oil, it will end up dirtying it, and then the sensors of the flow meter itself will not work, because the threads it carries get dirty and then it does not work well and especially good for people. Some have told me that they have air filters of those sports or high performance because these filters usually have a maintenance with a little oil. You have to be careful with the oil that is added because that oil often ends up inside the part and gives failure and you have to clean it. That's why you have to have maintenance, change the air filter every so often. Your thing would be to change it when you know it is dirty, but normally every 10,000 kilometers. I always advise changing it approximately when the engine oil is changed, because if it is dirty, apart from that the engine will not do the combustion well, then the vehicle will consume more and run less, with which in the end what you save by waiting to change that filter, or are you going to spend it on fuel? Well, here you have. This is the video. I hope it helps you, and well, thank you very much for following me.